Right now I have my Vision Pro set up with all my different windows, music, a browser, notes, files up there. I'm using one of the environments now, but the birds you're hearing aren't actually coming from the environment because I'm sitting outside at a park and all of these windows placed outside, and I'm actually able to work. I'm paired up with my keyboard so I can then select something and work on documents. Right now my phone's a hotspot with the Vision Pro and the keyboard's connected with Bluetooth, and I'm just able to treat it like I would my iPad Pro or laptop.
I do feel weird being out in public wearing this, I'm not gonna lie.
The Vision Pro is an expensive first generation device that is far from perfect. It has quite a few limitations at this point, and there's not a lot of apps for it. I was actually thinking about returning this one. I had it all packed up, but I couldn't do it. I decided that for whatever flaws and limitations this has, it is still one of the most impressive pieces of tech I've ever used. So in this video, I'm gonna share with you the reasons why I decided to keep the Vision Pro, and at the end, I'll share with you the reasons why I was gonna return it. I do have to be realistic and acknowledge the fact that I have a YouTube channel that I can blame making a purchase of this on, and I can make videos like this to justify getting this. I know for most people, you can't blame it on a YouTube channel, and these reasons I give you may not be enough reason to still get one. Now, the first reason I kept the Vision Pro, and probably one of the biggest reasons, is for the magic of this device. I think if you're going to get one of these, you have to really appreciate what the tech is and what it's opening up. This is a game changer, and it will eventually be mainstream because what it can do. Maybe not for a few years, but it is gonna happen. The tech in the Vision Pro is amazing, like the eye tracking. You look at something and you pinch it and it works. And it works consistently. Pretty much anytime I have an issue doing something with the Vision Pro, it's usually my fault. I'm trying to select something with my hand over here and I can't see it, or my hand's blocking the pinching. It's not the fault of the Vision Pro when it comes to navigating around. The Vision Pro interface definitely takes some getting used to. There's a learning curve to it, a whole new way of navigating. Look, pinch, and our eyes tend to wander around. I am blown away by the Vision Pro and the ability to put windows in your physical world, and they look like something you can touch. Or even better, you can leave the world you're in and go to one of the environments, and which is incredible and looks so lifelike. The Vision Pro is something you definitely have to experience. If you get a chance to try it out, go for it. There's no video or description of it that's going to do it justice. You have to experience it. I did make a video sharing my initial impressions of the Vision Pro. I'll put a link to that video in the description and at the end of this video. Now, the freedom that Vision OS offers, you're not limited by any monitor or display. Things can be anywhere you want around you. You're like, yeah, there's messages over there. Let me grab my notes window and walk out of the room holding a virtual note. I mean, think about this. Apple's using cameras to look at my hands and to track my eyeballs to put floating windows that look real. Not only that, these windows are touch sensitive. You can select things with touch on a virtual floating window. That's magic. Now, if you try the Vision Pro and after you experience it, you still just see an expensive, heavy headset with not a lot of applications, don't buy it. It's not for you yet. The next reason I decided to keep the Vision Pro is this device is the future. And I didn't want to wait 2 years before I could experience it. I mean, maybe in 2 years, Apple will release the Vision Air, but who knows? Also, they may remove features. Either way, that's gonna be expensive too. But right now, I wanna be a part of this. The cost of the Vision Pro sucks. This thing's expensive and I will never try to justify that to you, but to experience this tech and be there in the beginning and to start taking advantage of it, it's worth the cost to me. Plus, I could blame it on the YouTube channel, like I mentioned earlier. Now I have to make content to pay for the Vision Pro, so make sure you subscribe. There are some good Vision Pro videos that are going to be coming out. Now, the next reason I got the Vision Pro, and one of the main reasons I initially bought it, was for the media side of things. The Vision Pro is amazing for watching movies, YouTube videos, or any other content on it.
I'm in my backyard with the YouTube video playing in Safari. I can even take it with me back inside the house.
The displays on the Vision Pro are amazing. You don't see any pixels on anything. There's some limitations that come with all VR headsets, and we'll talk about that at the end.
This is Asphalt 8. It's an iPad game that I'm playing out in the park, which is insane that I can do that on a Vision Pro. And look at the size of the screen. I can place it wherever I want. Oh, and crash.
Now, the Vision Pro viewing experience is not about it being the highest resolution device with the highest frame rates, or it's definitely not a device meant to share viewing with other people. What it is a theater, a home theater on your head with amazing virtual surround sound. You will never have a more immersive experience than watching on the Vision Pro. The Vision Pro is great for any content, from watching one of the 3D movies or IMAX movies out, or just watching a YouTube video like this in the corner while you get some work done. I love that you can make the screens any size you want. You can have a video off to the side playing, or you could sit back and relax and have it take up the whole screen. And it's cool seeing that movie just floating there in the perfect aspect ratio. You could watch that movie sitting by the lake, in a theater that you could look around and experience, or even in the Avengers Tower. What really blew my mind is watching 3D content. And the 3D and IMAX content isn't about making things floating off the screen. It instead creates a depth and an environment around you where you're able to look left and right and see the image wrapping around you. If you check out Apple's immersive movies, you can experience things like you're in the room and things are life-size. For one, you could sit in on the Alicia Keys recording session in a studio and look around anywhere you want in the room. It's like you're a fly on the wall in the room. Another one that it freaked me out was watching the lady 3,000 feet in the air go across a high rope between two cliffs. And my hands started to sweat. It's like you're sitting there on the rope watching her step on it in front of you. I've never had such a physical experience while watching something. This is really going to be amazing when more content comes out, especially sporting events, when you can be in the middle of the field and look around you and experience it. And over time, we're going to have more companies creating these kind of headsets and more content to go with them. With the Vision Pro, you really feel like you're experiencing these movies and are in them because of the visuals and the sound. The sound out of this thing is incredible. This little speaker right here on each side sends the sound like right into your ears, and it can do a spatial sound that makes it sound like things are coming from behind you or around you. It's so good that I usually just wear this and don't pair any AirPods or anything to it, because these little speakers sound like a set of AirPods. They're that good. I'm really blown away how full they're able to make this sound. Now, if you pair it with a set of AirPods, whoo, even better. Something to be aware of. If you do use the speakers built in, other people can hear what's going on. So you might be enjoying this loud, amazing movie, and other people might not be. Now, the next reason I kept the Vision Pro is for the whole spatial computing experience. I would say the best way to describe it is if you're someone who uses your iPad to get things done, maybe more than just content and checking the occasional email, the Vision Pro could be a good option for you. There are actually quite a few iPad apps that work with the Vision Pro. There's also native Microsoft Office apps. So if you do use Word or Excel, it's pretty cool to be able to pair up a keyboard to the Vision Pro, sit back in your favorite chair, resize the window just the way you want it, maybe have some notes in another window, have your messages over here, little video playing off to the side with the news. It is a cool thing to be able to work in that kind of environment and not have the constraints of a monitor where you have to stack windows on top of each other or flip in between windows. It's weird to have your whole environment be a space for you to work within. Like when you pair an iPad with a Magic Keyboard, pairing a keyboard to the Vision Pro just opens up so many more uses for it.
So I could sit wherever I want with the keyboard, and you could see it has the little autocorrect and tracks what I'm typing. So with the keyboard and the Vision Pro, I can get work done just about anywhere.
You can also pair up controllers to it and play games on the Vision Pro, which is pretty cool to be able to have a huge iPad screen and play some of my iPad games. Like some of the games you could play on this, you play the one that chops up fruit and the fruit's falling all over the room you're in, it's making a mess. I really enjoy being able to use the native apps because that's where the Vision Pro shines, when they're designed to work within an environment with few limitations. Now, the next reason I kept the Vision Pro, which is also one of the reasons I was going to get rid of it, is for the external monitor support. With the Vision Pro, you can pair your Mac to it and use it as an external display that can be resized and moved around as you like. You can also run other Vision Pro apps at the same time while you're mirroring your display. I do like that I can be more comfortable while working on my laptop. Instead of leaning over it, I could sit back in a comfortable chair and have the window, the monitor, any size I want. I can also roll in one of the environments, so I'm just focusing on the work with less distractions around. I really like that the Vision Pro can serve as an external monitor, but it was also one of the reasons I was going to return. And I say that because that external display support was a big reason I bought it. When using the Vision Pro as an external display, it works great with a lot of apps, but there's other apps that I don't want to use on it, especially ones that have a lot of text. And the reason why is it's a little laggy and it's not as sharp as my studio display. That virtual display for my Mac is also not as sharp as the native apps. So in certain cases, I like to use this as an external display, but I really don't use it as much as I expected to, and for it being one of the main reasons for buying it. Whenever I can, I try to use the Vision Pro apps. I mean, there's certain things like editing in Final Cut Pro. I don't mind doing that on this, but it's not my favorite. I'm either taking advantage of this thing for all the things it can do natively, or I'm kind of moving over to my computer and my studio display for things that I need that MacBook Pro support. The next reason I wanted to return the Vision Pro is for some of the technical issues that you run into on pretty much any VR headset. It's just the nature of these devices. For example, there is some color shifting and some warping of the image on the edges of the lens. This happens on pretty much all headsets because of the type of lenses that are needed when you have displays close to your eyes. I'm not the best person to give all the technical breakdown on this. I will put in the description a link to Linus Tech Tips video on it. He covered all those technical issues in better detail. Another thing I didn't like was the light glare that you get in certain situations. For example, you could be using pass-through in a room and then there's a bright spot in the room. Well, what'll end up happening is you'll sometimes see reflections on the inside of the lens. A lot of people won't notice that, but I spent 25 years in the entertainment lighting industry, and I spent a lot of years doing lighting for video. My eyes are very sensitive to changes in lighting and shifting in intensity, so that could be a little distracting for me. But what I found is a nice workaround is to take advantage of the environments for one. And why the environments work well is that it helps balance everything you're seeing. Instead of these little cameras and the processing having to balance the brightness of the outside world with the windows and all of that, when you turn on the environments, they're balanced out nicely with the intensity of the windows. So I didn't notice as much glare then. Another thing I had to get over or get used to was the limited field of view. That's something you experience with all VR headsets. There is only so much you can see to the sides. You're wearing a headset when you're looking at things. I do at least, you get caught up in the enjoyment of it that you forget about it, but it's easy to, oh yeah, I'm wearing a headset all the time. Now, another reason I was going to return the Vision Pro is just wearing it, the fit of it. It's a heavy device, and you really have to get the right strap, the right light seal, and all that so it's comfortable. Initially, mine wasn't feeling very comfortable because the lenses were too close together and were hitting on my nose in an uncomfortable way. But once I spread the lenses a little bit, it became more comfortable. And when I put the right light seal on for me, it now sits on my face nicely so it's not too much pressure on the forehead or the cheeks and none on the nose. With these different things that I didn't like initially about the device, it really had me questioning spending $3,500 on it. I mean, should I spend that much money on a first generation device that I'm not a big fan of the display support on it, and it doesn't have a lot of apps for it yet? Well, after using it for longer, yes, I should spend that money on it because this thing is magic. No, it's a very cool experience, and I look forward to using it more. Now, what are your thoughts on the Vision Pro? Is this something you'd like to get? Do you have one? Do you have plans on getting one? Let us know in the comment section. Now, if you made it this far, please consider subscribing. Also, check out this video over here. I share with you all my reactions to using the Vision Pro. I do say wow too many times there. My apologies for that. I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching. Bye.